Gold robot again. Thinking about maybe upgrading the machine count system. So the machine count uses these four columns here. And this column here is records what answer the machine count comes up with. This column, I'm still figuring out what to do with this. We're not going to talk about that yet. And I'm not going to explain these columns either, but these four columns here, I guess you know what I should do. No, that wouldn't make sense. Never mind. But anyway, these B, C, D, and E are recording the four different paths. You know, if each color is like a different path through the randomness, right? And that path is like charted by the random number that appears, which is this column A here. So that's what these four columns represent. A 1 means a hit, positive hit. A 0 means negative hit or miss. And so basically what the machine count does is it goes, oh, you know, it always looks at the last five. So if we're on, let me just scroll to the bottom, make it a little bit more obvious. Okay, so we're on round 707, right? So the machine count is going to count the last five. Oopsie. Oh geez, don't read that. Alright, let me try this again. That would be the last five, right? Am I counting right? Okay. So anyway, it takes a look at the last five in this column, 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 and it weighs them out and says which one is like overhitting, and then we'll bet against that. So that's the basic concept. Now there's like fine detail as to how exactly you execute that, and then so there's a way to tweak that. I don't even really remember exactly how I coded it. So there would probably be a way to tweak that, make it a little better, perhaps, or maybe I just go, it takes like the last 10 rounds or whatever. It takes just like a larger sample, you know, but kind of lazy on that because, the FBI method is working out so well. So if it ain't broke, right? Why am I gonna fix it or something? But if that was the case, if that was like my motto and I really lived by that, I mean, I don't think I'd push this so far. Like, there's nothing. I don't know what drives me, but something for sure. I'm certainly driven. So anyway, I'm gonna balance my spreadsheet here, and 1 0 0 0, and then I guess we'll start off another 50,000 point starting amount, which is, relax. I'm not actually I would never I've never started a bankroll that large. Um, it's just not necessary. It's like literally never necessary. But but I think that's what we should do. We should do some storytelling again, right? Because there's so many. I don't even know what you call them. Some kind of speakers and whatnot, and they talk about the winning players and they're using, a 50,000, like a literal $50,000, like as this says 50,000 here, that would be their $50,000 bankroll, and they're going to be throwing out $500 chips. So, and they would probably start with way more. They'd probably start with $500,000 to lay down $500 chips at a time, and it just really silly, and really it's definitely going to help. When you're max betting, it definitely, for whatever reason, who knows why, other than like you have one reason is, you have a lot of padding. But if you start maxing out the table limits, it doesn't matter. But anyway, for whatever reason, it does seem to help the player big time when they have a lot of padding, even if their money management, their bet management is a joke. I'll tell you what the best bet management is, though. If you can understand the stepped method, you pick a chip size, place your bet, and then you step it up with that same size, right? Do that several times. Now, if you lose 4 times in a row and you've stepped up each time, somewhere in there too, you could catch a gut feeling and step down. Um, let's say you lose 4 or 5 times in a row. Now you're gonna do the stepped thing again, but you're gonna look at it like, okay, let's say I've stepped up to I went from 50, and I'm stepped up now to 300, and I just lost 3 times, 4 times, 5 times in a row. Now you do reframe basically, and you go, okay, now 300 is my step, so I'm gonna bet 300 on this next round, and then step up, step down with 300s, or you say, I mean, that's a little extreme actually. Let's be for real. If I were to have stepped up to 300 with 50s and it's not working out, now I've made a big hole. I'll just double my step size. So now my step is 100. So each time I step up or down, I'm using 100 as my step size. So if you can figure that out, it's so natural. It doesn't require like arithmetic really, and yet it does match up with the arithmetic amazingly well. Like, so natural. It's so great. So anyway, there you go. And has anyone ever talked about that on any of these channels ever? That's what is then that's the joke. Now that's the joke. Not very funny to me. So um anyway, we'll just I don't know, man. I was telling a story on the last Roulette Lab this is Roulette Lab 50 now, and I think I was talking about my first experience on YouTube looking up. That's what everybody uses YouTube for. Like, oh, I want to work on cars, so like let me look up some car videos and other people fixing cars or whatever. Or you have even a specific question about a specific car, or whatever your interest is. You go see what other people are doing with that interest on YouTube, and they're very informative. So I did this with these money games, and I don't know, man. I don't know how to put it into words now. Just just like how the void of the void of true. Well, let me think. The void of a reasonable drive, you know, right? It's like all these gurus are out there talking about this way or that way to play this game, I mean, they're not really looking. They don't have a reasonable drive. Like, what are they? Why are they doing it? What do they want to accomplish? And if and when somebody comes along with a great idea, are we collaborating? Are we working to get, did anybody just see what just happened there? I mean, talk talk smack because this is a quote unquote simulator. But this is the same game, my friends, that you're gonna play in any on any floor. It's the same game. So, right. Anywho, are any of them really trying to beat the game? Basically, it just is something I took for granted, and then I actually started beating the game, or at least started driving towards that. Right, and I find the landscape so scarily and bluntly, apparently vacant, barren, just absolute crickets. Like, hey, guys and gals, I'm not trying to sell you something. I'm just trying to show you something. It's beating the game of roulette. I think that's interesting. Okay. Oh, look, where's your money? Where's the $1 million? If I had $1 million right now, would you know? Okay, even if I showed you a stack of $1 million on a screen, does that mean I have $1 million? And even if I did, even if it really was my $1 million, and I said it was from playing this game and using my software, would would that really entail that that it came from? You know what I mean? Why would it matter? I'm just like look at the data here. It's right here. So I'm like, how do we get anywhere without working together? That's what blows my mind. Everybody's feigning the community. Hey, we're gonna teach you this. We're gonna show you the strategy. Um, okay, well, what about how did you come up with the strategy? Let's talk about that. What are those mechanics? What did this just fall out of the sky? Or is it totally arbitrary and random and you don't want to mention that because that's not entertaining? I think we might have nailed the final nail in the coffin. I don't know. We nailed the coffin on the shelf. Okay, anyway. I just don't get it. I just don't get what's your drive. I just don't get it. And there's all these people watching these videos. What is your drive for watching these videos? Not this one, but of this genre. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's your drive? Anyway, um for me, for this is a project because I see these money games as an opportunity. Okay, one way or the other. Okay, I'm seeking to prove that once and for all, yes, the house edge does exist, and it will. It is a barrier beyond all whatever. Like I could at least test that barrier beyond what it's ever been tested and go. It's still there. Look, wow, isn't that interesting? Or or we go so far out it starts to thin out that edge starts to crack and crumble, and that's even more interesting. Hey, there's a limit to the house edge. Did you know that? Yeah, the house edge exists if you're, abiding by the house edge and you're playing along with it. But did you know it has a limit? Wow, that would be so interesting, right? So there's this guy or gal, or maybe he's a robot, whatever. There's this entity. There's an individual, right? That has been out there beyond the edge or whatever, beyond the house edge, right? And he's saying, man, you can learn these systems, right? These strategy formulas, etc., and learn how to operate them. And like, whoa, I'm just like a I'm just like a guy, right? That sounds hard. So like maybe he's right. I don't really know. Okay, well, Mr. Robot guy that's making these claims, how do you bring that all that stuff that you're doing to go past the edge? How would you bring it down to, like, show somebody? Well, I don't know. Maybe you would program it into some software so that the computer is doing the crazy hard work, and the operator can kind of just, you know, coast along the, all that mechanic, all those mechanics and all those moving parts, and not have to actually have to wrap their own mind around all that stuff, because it's talk about like a life changing thing you can input into your brain and stuff, and like the levels of training that you have to go to, and it will change your chemistry, at the least. Okay, it will start to. I would imagine that your physicality, physiology, and physiognomy then starts to adapt to that new chemical environment that you created. So like you start to structurally, physically change too. Anyway, so like um I went through all that, and I guess I could go win $1 million and buy a McLaren, and then just be like, yep, you gotta learn my crazy system and become a total spazoid, and also, well, you gotta pay me $5 million. Oh, well, I'll tell anybody, but you gotta pay me $5 million first. Anybody can learn it. Oh, does anyone does anyone know who I sound like? Um, yeah, I guess I could do that. That would be fun, wouldn't it? Psych. It's not interesting to me. It's not interesting to me. You know what's interesting to me? Hey, I don't need $1 million to get along and kind of live as though I have access to all the things that $1 million would have access to. And then at the same time, I'll bring this product down to the common. I don't want to say the common level, but like, or even bring it down. But it is. But it's like for my sake too. Like, I don't want to exist at that hyper ass, spazoid level. So hey, let's do the inside two spot. Boom, salmon, and get all the points back. 700. So anyway, what's gonna happen? Oh, there they're back. Okay, so um, I guess I have made that deviation once or twice. I haven't told my players. I don't really have that many players right now that operate this, but That's the only deviation I make anymore from the FBI method is I'll hit some two spot machine call, um, which is actually not so the way I explained the machine count at the beginning of this video, when the machine gives a two spot call like this, it's in text form, it's actually not using that mechanic. It's a different mechanic altogether. So I didn't even explain that one. Anywho, I don't remember what I was saying either. 11 hits, 11 hits. Why is it still... What? Oh. I didn't enter. It's going to change here in a second. Okay. So, yeah. So anyway. So my drive, what's interesting to me is to be beating this game without even playing the game, even though I'm the one operating. So, like, yeah, I'm playing this game right now, but the software is handling all of the mechanics. So it's really the software that's playing. So, which is me. This thing is like, oops, is like me from the past. That past hyper spazoid version of myself is now in the machine, and that's who's really playing, and that's what's interesting to me. So I'm beating the game. I don't play it anymore. I don't have to play it anymore. So, yeah. Unfortunately, though, it would be nice to have more operators so we could, because now this project's in the display phase, right? So, like, okay, I beat the game. Well, it's time to display that. So yeah, we are on. This thing here says 295, but this is my third run to 1,000 rounds. So, um, so yeah, that's 2,295 rounds. Now, these percentages don't include that 2,000 number, but we ended those previous runs 52%, and then the second one's 53%. Now we're not even close to the end, but I've never seen it at 56% on round 295. Never seen that. So there has been some tweaks to the operation, this FBI method. So I think that has a lot to do with why it's a lot higher now, and we'll just have to see what this continues to display. But that's what I'm doing here on this channel. I'm just displaying my claims. I said I beat the game. Okay? I told people, told professionals, told many professionals. They just strictly don't believe me, right? So I said, I'll teach you how this formula works. I don't know why. I don't know how none of them could pick it up. None of them could figure it out. None of them really were driven to, because they don't believe it can be beaten. So it's just me literally making a wild claim. So I said, all right, I will change my, I'll change my, this is a these games are, again, like I'm saying, I'm not a player. My drive isn't to keep playing the game and get the high score. I'm a developer. I want to destroy the game. I don't want to beat the game for myself. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be the high score player. I want to completely beat the game entirely till the point where it can't exist anymore. Like, that's my goal. So I said, all right, well, these guys aren't going to help me. I have to get somebody's help. I have to figure out somebody that can help. So I thought I will talk to non-professionals. Well, that was such a massive waste. I think I might have wasted like a whole year of my life doing that. And what a nasty place you people live in. I'll be honest. Like, holy crap. What a nasty place you've created for yourself. Anywho, oh shoot, I hit the zeros. Um, it's like yeah, talk garbage on this that it's a simulator. Even with my software, if you don't know how it's operated, you think this is random? Play random, enter your data, see what your hits ratios are, see what your gain is. You know, are you gaining points? Are you losing? You're not going to be. I'm very certain of it. I have a lot of players on my team that don't listen to me all the way, and they get a copy of my software, and they try to they just go play their own idea, which is so bizarre to me. Like they're gonna figure something out that's even better than what I've got going on. Like, okay, that you got to start from scratch. If you're gonna make something better, you gotta start on a new page, man. I don't know how much space is left for this to like. I don't know if there's infinite ways to beat this game, but anyway, yeah. So the long story short is they don't fully operate this thing to the way it was the way that I'm training you to, and then they get beat so quick. It's unreal. It's unreal. It kind of makes me. It feels weird. Let's put it that way. I'm like, what is going on? Am I like doing some magic spell that only works for me? And then I review their data and I go, oh no, they're not playing it correctly. Oh, okay. Well, I just, it's surprising that how quickly this game knocks you out when you're not, I guess, like on the path that this formula will create for you. I mean, it's really, this game is extremely dangerous. I think that edge number, if you're always playing roulette and you're playing any kind of weird strategy, or you're just playing random or whatever, you're playing your own, you're you're playing your luck, you're gonna see that edge percentage for the house is way higher than what it says. That 5.2%, it's gonna be way higher. And I also challenge you to even figure out what your what your edge is. Do you even know how to do that? Okay, so even for professional players, yeah, I love you guys. I really do. But come on. I think you guys are doing it. I think you're a little bit um you're just you're just there in a contest of egos. I don't get it, man. I don't get that one, but yikes. So, anyway, I'm gonna play green here. And I am so anyway, uh then I moved on to the next phase of the project and thought, all right, I'll write a computer program and I'll get computer programmers to help me write this program. I thought when that hit me, I'm like, oh my god, that's brilliant because they're not they're not gameplay. Like I don't have to teach them the formula. I just have to explain that to translate this formula into like code language, and then they write the actual code language, and then boom, I have software, and we're good. And that was not entirely unsuccessful. We wrote some preliminary trial runs, trial prototypes. Um, yeah, but quickly I went through a lot of coding people, and then I just did it myself. So now I got the program. Now what do? Well, I guess it's time to display my claim, right? Put it on display. So that is what you see here, and telling other stories along the way, because it helps me forget about how I've been received by people. It is really strange to me. just I just don't really I just don't really get it. Yeah. I'm just trying to share something. I'm just saying, look, you can see for yourself. If you don't want to see, that's fine. Can you get out of the way? Like, I don't understand it, man. It's like I'm not trying to make you do anything you don't want to do. I just don't understand. I just want to make sure that you understand what I'm telling you, right? Do you get what I'm saying? What this does? All right, that's way too. I'm not gonna go crazy right now. So we are gonna. So this um, short-term hit percentage. Oh well, I guess it's not going down yet. So it can go down to 38%. And this button up here, when I press this turns on the average of all every round. The software will record the short-term hit percentage, and it'll save it for that round. This button will take all those saved numbers for per round or whatever. So for 302 rounds, my average short-term hit percentage is 56.146666%. Okay. So I am gonna start. I'm just gonna keep putting this on display. I'm really trying hard not to call people out like by name, but I feel like it's gonna happen, just to see what happens. You know what I mean? Like I'm totally banned everywhere. So like, what difference would it make if I started telling I'm gonna write a list right after I cut this video. I'm gonna write a list. Maybe I'll bring it up some episode down the road, but for now, I have to thank you for your patience, and good night.